Hey guys, my name is Aaron. I'm a US photographer based in Madrid, Spain. I've been in Spain for about 8 years now. And I am a commercial portrait, headshot, and lifestyle photographer. And I also do some DOP work and short films, music videos, that kind of thing. So I do a little bit of everything. My creative interests are pretty varied. And so I usually, anything that has a person and a story, like I'm usually in on that. And I started this channel just to kind of share some of the knowledge that I've learned along the way, both about the techniques that we use, about how to work with clients, about how to build a business, and then also some stuff about gear, because I find there's a space where there's a lot of gear that's a lot of spec driven, that's like very sales driven. And I wanted something that was more based off of the actual user experience for us as professionals when we're out shooting and using this stuff. What does it look like we're really using it, and how do things really feel when they're being used? This kind of hit me when a couple of years ago when I was looking for a camera, and so much of the stuff was clickbait and a bunch of other random stuff. And I found a couple of photographers that were showing how it was really used. And I really appreciated that, but there just wasn't enough. And sometimes their styles weren't necessarily my style. And so I wanted to share just one more choice, one more opinion about how we use our equipment. So what I'm going to talk about today is an Old Faithful, the 24-70. In this case, it's the Sony 24-70 GM2. I just picked it up. I haven't had a chance to use it too much yet. But for the last 2 years, I've been shooting on the Sigma DG DN Art 2. So it was kind of the newest one as of a couple of years ago. And I really like Sigma lenses, especially for the price difference. I usually find that quality-wise, they're on par with almost any other lens I've ever used. And so I bought it at the time, especially just because it was I was changing camera systems, and I needed the cost savings. And so it was a great lens. I used the hell out of it. There are two things that I didn't like about it that I ended up selling and then buying the Sony GM2. The first thing was for the Sigma, I don't always like the rubber bands. I find that over time they turn that white and kind of weird. And even if you clean your gear, I mean, if you clean it, it helps a lot. But it's just really easy for it to get kind of old and crusty looking on that. And it's just one of the things I don't know, I hate the look of it. The other thing that I really didn't like, and at first it didn't bother me, and everybody kind of told me I was crazy, but on the Sigma, when you zoom, it goes the opposite way. So in the Sony, if you twist right, you zoom, you twist left, you go wider. It was the opposite in the Sigma. So I use my other lens I use a lot is the 24-105, especially for video. And so if I was doing both, then on the 24-105 would have a normal zoom, and then the 24-70 Sigma would have the opposite zoom. And so inevitably I would be just like going crazy with the zoom, and then I would have to kind of look and check. At first it didn't bother me. I was like, oh, well, over time you develop muscle memory and those things work. But I was switching between the two too much that even after, a little over 2 years, it didn't do it. And finally, I was on a shoot a month ago, and finally it just pissed me off so much. I was like, all right, I can't do this. I have to screw this. So I was like, okay, it's worth the extra $600-700 to just do it. So I was able to sell my Sigma. I got a decent rate on Wallapop here in Spain, which is kind of a version of like eBay or something. And I found a really good price on this one, so I was able to make the trade for maybe 400 or 500 euros ish. But so far, I'm really excited. The build quality on this is definitely, I kind of prefer the look of the Sony a little bit more. I don't know, we'll see. But just, I'd have to look and see. It feels heavier, and I don't know if that's an actual fact or if it's just what it is, but it feels a little bit heavier. Everything else is pretty much the same. The look and feel of it. It's got the autofocus, and I had zero problems with the autofocus on the Sigma. It was amazing photo, video. I never had any issues with it. And I also had really great contrast, no flaring, no any issues. Like optically, I had no issues with the other one. This was really just one of those things that over time just grated on me to the point that I just wanted the uniformity so that I can pick up any of my cameras and have the same motion. So anyway, so that, I just wanted to share that. I think that was important. I never, in all my research for the Sigma, I never came across that. And it was one of those things, like as soon as I got it, I noticed it and it bothered me the entire time I had it. And if I had known that, I would have probably made a different decision in the beginning. I don't know. At the time, I probably needed to save the money more than anything, but I probably would have done it. So everything about the Sony, though, the build quality and everything is quite good. I'm excited to put it to use. I'm going to see. The only thing I read that was a little bit better with the Sigma was the contrast when you're shooting directly into sun, that sometimes this can show a little bit more of the sun flares and that kind of stuff. So who knows? We'll try it. Anyway, that's all I wanted to say about this one. I just thought it was an important thing. I didn't know about it before I bought it, and so I wish somebody had made a video and said, hey, watch out for this before you buy the Sigma 24-70. For some people, especially if you're not switching zooms, it may be totally fine. Like it may be for you, that's the right choice. But for me, it just started to piss me off, so I had to let it go. So, all right, guys, I'll quit jabbing on about this. Great lens, and hopefully we'll have some photos to show you guys on it soon. All right, have a good one.